I'm Tracy Ferguson. We're here to talk about listening to employee voices to create meaningful change in the workplace for underrepresented groups. Today, we're going to focus specifically on creating exceptional experiences for women. I'm joined by two experts from companies who are consistently recognized as great places to work for women. Tina Jones, Senior Vice President of Global Human Resources at Cadence, and Gloria Chin, Chief People Officer and Executive Vice President of Employee Experience at Adobe. Thank you both for joining me. UKG and Great Place to Work data shows that a company that genuinely and consistently listens to its employees has higher levels of trust. Tina, why was it important to you to hear from female employees about their workplace experiences at Cadence? And what did you learn from their feedback?
We have been laser focused on making sure we're working well together, that we're bringing out the voices of all of our employees, not just maybe the dominant voices. And so for us, a key piece has been the Great Place to Work survey. It really is a survey for all. And we have found that the trust index that Great Place to Work uses is just very instructive for us. We get to cut the data in ways that we find very insightful. So that has certainly been a baseline, foundational tool for us for many years. We've now had a Cadence Women's Conference in North America, in Israel, in Jerusalem actually, and in India. We talk about what it's like to be a woman in tech. And so they have come up with all the ideas that we're now trying to synthesize and make actionable. But, when I looked back at their ideas, they really came down to how do you channel an authentic voice in the workplace as a woman? How do you navigate a male-dominated environment? And really, how do you build inclusivity on a daily basis, working especially in tech?
So how are you using this feedback to create meaningful change at Cadence?
You've got to actually do something about it or you lose all credibility. Certainly, we're working through many of the ideas now, but when I look at where the themes are, they've really been about mentorship, development, accountability for our leaders, and how we go to market to get talent, especially diverse talent. We, put our top 100 leaders into a bonus plan and said, guess what? You need to attract women and you need to retain them. And if you don't, it is going to affect your pocketbook. When we go to colleges, we do special career fairs for the women engineers and things like that. And so it transformed. We looked back at our data and we got 650 more diverse candidates last year than we had the year before. So it does make a difference, and we've been getting great quality talent.
100 Best Companies to Work For data tells us that women's workplace mental health is nearly 70% higher at Adobe and Cadence. Gloria, can you share how Adobe makes supporting women both professionally and personally a top priority?
Adobe was founded on the belief that people are our greatest asset and that everyone should feel respected and included. When that happens, people can bring their full authentic self, they innovate, they contribute more, and as a result, it's better for the business as well. When I think about what has contributed to a great experience for women at Adobe, it is both professional and personal, right? Professionally, at the end of the day, people want to do meaningful work. And we foster an environment where ideas and innovation can come from anywhere. And that means that everyone is encouraged to pitch ideas, solve interesting problems, have an opportunity to do interesting work. But it's more than bringing people, into the company. It's about career growth. So internal mobility is a key area of focus, a commitment to development, including educational reimbursement. But one of the programs that we're really proud of is our Leadership Circles, which we just celebrated our 10th anniversary on, which is a program that brings together women in our pipeline for a year-long series of workshops, coaching, and networking. They tell us that what's really valuable is making space in a very busy day to really focus on themselves and each other and to provide that kind of support. And we've definitely seen great results in terms of participants getting promoted later after they've graduated from the program. But on personal matters. Well-being is incredibly important. We want to make sure that we're providing peace of mind for people at work and at home. So whether that is through generous time off or flexibility to work from home part of the time, employees know that they can take the time they need for themselves and for their families. And whether that's supporting their time to start a family, fertility services, surrogacy and adoption, and parental leave. We're really proud of the generous paid parental leave that we have globally, 26 weeks of paid time so that people can truly spend the time with their new families.
To that, let me ask you, how are you using your insights from women at Adobe ERG to make Adobe a more positive, encouraging workplace for women?
Well, listening to our employees and engaging with them and co-creating our programs is core to our approach with employee engagement. Certainly post-COVID, a lot of focus has been building local and global community connections, social interactions, personal interactions, but they've actually helped us steer programs and workshops, whether it's professional development, interests, leadership, career planning, or personal topics like financial well-being or workshops around parenting neurodiverse children or women's health topics. But they are actually creating a lot of the programs that we roll out broadly. They pioneered and continue to run our Women's Executive Shadow program, where women apply and are selected to shadow the day in the life of an executive. And they're contributing to partnering with our CSR programs around what kinds of organizations we want to support at a strategic level. One of the things that is very exciting is the work that we're doing now with Equality Now, which is a women's rights organization. The Women at Adobe Network worked with our CSR team to identify this organization to partner with so that it isn't just about grant giving, but also education and volunteering and engagement from an organizational perspective. And we all know that purpose is very important to employees today. And so engaging them that way is a really meaningful way for us to have the intersectionality of various programs that we're doing for employees really engaged together.
Tina, we just heard about what Adobe is doing for their women that are out on maternity leave for 26 weeks. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing at Cadence with regard to your recharge days.
Something that we came up with during the pandemic was global recharge days at Cadence. So we do about a dozen days in addition to the vacation people can take, in addition to holidays. There are about a dozen days that every person at Cadence, no matter what site you're in, we are technically closed. And you try to take a vacation, but people are still working. You may feel pulled to do some work. Of course, we still serve our customers, but it has been just a game changer.
And to that, let me ask you, understanding intersectionality is essential to creating inclusive workplace experiences. Tina, tell me, how does Cadence support and create opportunities for women in underrepresented groups?
Understanding, like you said, the intersectionality between gender and, being maybe a racial minority has been, something very important for us to study and learn more from by hearing from employees. And so certainly our go-to place is our inclusion groups, where we have, groups that speak to what employees have said is important to them. So it may be neurodiversity, it may be our Latinx group, it may be our Black group. And so that has been very critical for us to hear directly from them what's important, where are they struggling, and for us to adjust. And certainly with respect to women, particularly our Latinx women and our Black women, they've talked a lot about the importance of mentorship and development. And so we've really tilted our programs in that direction. So we had 250 women go through our mentorship program recently, and they just tell us that this has been critical to their effectiveness and their desire to stay at Cadence, their learning and how to be productive and efficient and effective in the workplace. And so I think when I looked at our leadership development, about 40% of the people who went through it last year were women, which we're very proud of because, of course, that's disproportionate to how many female leaders we have today. So we are really trying to bring underrepresented people along by investing in them. And, lucky us, because they're rising to the occasion, they're getting involved, they're all in, and we're benefiting from it.
Gloria, how is Adobe ensuring that women of all backgrounds feel supported at work?
At Adobe, we have this thing called Adobe for All. And it's this idea that really encapsulates our commitment to creating a workplace that reflects the diversity, all the diversity that's in the world around us. One of the ways that we really focus on creating that kind of inclusive environment is leveraging the power of storytelling to build empathy. We have a program called our Adobe for All Days, which we hold every year in the fall. And it's our annual gathering that brings employees together from all of our different networks. And we're really celebrating the shared values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And a signature part of this, my favorite part of the event, is these what we call our employee storytelling. And they're TED Talk-like storytelling videos and clips and people speaking on stage, people sharing their personal journeys, whether it's a coming out story or a story about racism from childhood, employee who's overcoming addiction. These are really deep and powerful ways that employees learn about the lived experiences of their fellow employees, so people they know. And it builds tremendous empathy and expands people's perspectives to understand that this isn't just something they're reading about or hearing about in the news, but it's something that's here, and that, it's someone that they may know next to them that may be experiencing something very different from their own experience. That is one area. The other is around creating a safe space for learning and discourse. More and more, we're facing all kinds of complex social issues, whether it's racial violence, war, other traumas, and people want to talk about it, but it's tricky. It's very sensitive. And so through our learning and our experience, we've developed what we call Let's Talk sessions. And it's a safe space for employees to come together as they are, to share what's on their mind, to find community, to process things that are happening, to access mental health resources, and to do this together.
Tina, Gloria, thank you so much for sharing your insights into the importance of listening to and amplifying women's voices in the workplace. This meaningful work has the potential to transform women's professional experiences and career trajectories for years to come.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for including me today. I'm really honored to be part of this group and this discussion.